What are the greatest Lego sets of all time? What really makes a Lego set great? Is it being a really awesome, big, complicated build? Or is it something that has a feature or an item or a figure that relates to something that you really like? Well, today here on BrickTsar, yes, this is BrickTsar, we are going to be looking at this book, The Great Lego Sets, A Visual History by DK Publishing. We actually got this quite a while ago. I actually received one from DK. They sent it to me because I was a contributor, very small contributor to this book. I'll show you that when we get to it. But I never did a proper review of this book. So we're going to look at this book, and I'm going to talk about some of the great Lego sets that are great in my opinion. Many of them are in this set, and I'm going to talk about at least one glaring omission from this book. If I was the author, I would have done it a little differently on one thing in particular, but I will say this. This is a really awesome book. I'm not just using hyperbole. It's a very good book. Every set that they picked in here as being a great set is indeed great, and I love some of the comparisons. So there's just one thing that BrickTsar would have loved to have seen in this book. So let's look at it. So first of all, this is in a sleeve. So you got the Great Lego Sets book, and you got the Lego Mini Space Cruiser set 111910, which kind of is a giveaway to what perhaps is their favorite set, the Space Cruiser. So let's, what I need to do is, I've never actually built this, so why don't we build this set? How do I open this thing without damaging it too bad? Like there's a little bit of tape right there. I'm just going to do this really. Uh-oh, I tore it anyway. I didn't want to tear it. BBI. Alright, see how they've packaged it. Oh, look. Official Lego Group packaging. Ah. Nice. Instruction manual and alternate builds, maybe, or is that the, nope, that looks like the actual set. So pretty neat. Anything else hidden away in here? Looks like it's just a cardboard box. So now we'll do a little time-lapse build. Shouldn't take long, maybe a handful of seconds.
Someone's calling, Joseph Olson, don't answer it, Joseph Olson. Someone's calling, Joseph Olson, don't answer it, Joseph Olson. Someone's calling, Joseph Olson, don't answer it, Joseph Olson.
Well, this truly is a great set in itself. Again, this is 11910, the Microscale Space Cruiser. It really captures a lot of the details of the original Space Cruiser with the yellow, trans yellow. It's got the gray, the blues, even has the cargo hold and the tile that holds this, so you can open that up and release the little mini vehicle. You can drive up there. Close it like that, and you can put it in there. Uh-oh. Let's get it back in there. Somehow. I got it in there the first time. There we go. Right. But a very nice model. A Microscale Space Cruiser. That's what it looks like. Alright, so now we're going to take a brief look at the book, and I'm going to show you some of my favorites in here. I've actually reviewed quite a few of the sets that are in here, and there's some that I have that I've never built and reviewed, but I have them. Alright, so first the sleeve shows you that set as we showed at the beginning, but I forgot to show you on the back. It shows some classics from all eras, and that's what the book does. It breaks it up into the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. And it really is more heavily, there's a lot more sets from this time period, which yeah, Legos, they've put out more sets in the last 17 years than they have previously. And this book came out in 2015, basically. But yeah, there's a lot more sets in the modern era. So so there's not really a lot in these other eras. So what of these eras would be your favorite? Well, that's another question for debate. But let's look at the book now. I'll slide it over here. And this is what the book looks like. It has no cover. It's just like no paper cover going over it. It's just doesn't even have the name of the book on the front. It's just on the side there. But since it's a book about great Lego sets, it's a bunch of great Lego sets. And wish I'd never sold that one. But we got a lot of these, and we've done reviews of these, and there's some I need to do a review of, and there's some we're sad we sold. And then on the back again has actually it has some that would count in my top 10 more than likely, like the Brickyard and the train set there, set 80, and Town Plan 810. Right there on the back cover, some of my favorites. First set with a minifigure is there. So let's open this book up. And this book was written by Daniel Lipkowitz with Catherine Hill, Helen Murray, and Rosie Pete. And it does have a foreword by Jet Ordenu, the head of the Lego house in Billund. Another great set, one we own, one we've reviewed. That's Olkirk's house. And this introductory part shows you kind of a timeline of the Lego element and the Lego sets. And one thing that's interesting, the first sets with instructions came out in 1964. And that's something I always wanted to know, because my older sets, like the Junior Constructor set and the Town Plan set, they didn't have instructions, and this is why they didn't start making printed instructions or on-box instructions until 1964. Now, those older sets, sometimes they did have kind of not step-by-step instructions, but kind of like 3 or 4 instructions to build something that's got 700 pieces. So it wasn't really enough to build it the way they had. So that's why you can't find instructions for Town Plan and sets like that. You just got to build by looking at the box. A set like that, you'd have to build by looking at the box. So it talks about when we introduced tiles, trains, how many sets have been sold, when Legoland was open, when different elements were added, when the Lego maxi figure was made. They don't call it the maxi figure, they called it Lego building figures. There's the hobby sets, Castle, Fabuland, and then look, that's my set. This is my contribution to the book. The images of the Futuron monorail, there's actual my set. I took the pictures. The Daniel that wrote this book had a lot of the sets that he has in this book, but they wanted some clean pictures of the Futuron, so that's what I did. And I'll show you that in the book here in a minute. And so this is just this thing is packed full of information, not just about great Lego sets, but a lot of the things that go behind the scenes into making sets. Some of the designers of the sets are in here. The guy that designed the Yellow Castle, things like that, and what the process to creating a Lego set. Now, here, this is my holy grail, if that's the word, the term that you want to use. This is the one set, I feel like if I get this set, I'll be done collecting. Well, not technically, but this is the one set that if I could make it, I would. Now, I do have the board here for this Town Plan 810. I have that board. Most of the elements I could actually, this is one of the best pictures I've seen of this set. So just looking at this, you could kind of build some of these structures. And so that would leave me getting the really hard to find parts, which would be the trees, the cars, the motorcycles, and the street signs, and the SO sign, the things like that. But this is the set I want. Set Town Plan. That's one of the great sets. And then these are sets we have. We have reviewed the motorized train set, set 113, the building set with train, set 080. And then here's a car. We got that. Let's see, this is set 346. There's a lot of sets that look like this. I don't think I have that one. So then it groups it into years. So basically this first orange section we looked at was the 50s and 60s, which they grouped all together. So that you see there was not very much. And they hit on pretty good because one of my favorite sets. So I think they did pretty good with the 50s and 60s. Now the 70s, this is when Lego really started taking off. And let me find something. This one you got the maxi figure, the family. All right, this is this is a pretty special section right here for me because these are two of my favorite sets. This is one of the sets I owned as a kid, and I got a lot of play out of this set. And this is one of the sets I wanted and didn't have. Didn't get till I was much older, and this became one of my favorite sets. It's called Gravel Works, but another name for it is Brickyard. And that's one of the reasons I liked it, because it's called Brickyard, and you know, Lego is bricks. But you know, very good choices in these. And then of course this one, the blue Lunar Lander. All right, so in the 70s, again, this is when NASA was sending people to the moon. They were actually landing on the moon. So of course you got to have a set like this, and this is why we're so excited about the Saturn V. That's the Ideas project that's going to be released June 1st. And we love this. We love real space in addition to Lego space. Another set I have, the Thatcher Perkins. Pretty awesome. And then it does things like this where it compare a house that was made in that time period to other houses, and it does that throughout the books. Here's another set that I really like. I have not reviewed this one, but it's the Universal Building set. And then when you get to Technic started in the 70s. 1977. It was not called Technic. It was either called Technical Sets or Universal Building Sets here in the U.S. And my neighbor had that set. I wanted that set. I remember going to the store and looking at these. Oh, I want to get these. I want to get these. Never got them. The only one I got was a forklift, which is not in this book. All right. This is a very important page because it has the first set with the minifigure. And so that's kind of a critical set. And it talks about the designer of the Lego minifigure in this book as well. So I do have a review of that. I still, Mardi Gras Man, I need to send you that. I got one of these I need to send you. Still looking for it. All right. So here's another thing. Talks about Lego wheel and cars and things like that. Pretty cool. Yellow Castle. There's Daniel Lipkowitz. He's the designer of the Yellow Castle. He designed a ton of sets through the 70s. He's a Lego designer. And then here is the set that we have the mini cruiser based off of. This Space Cruiser and Moon Base set 928 was a favorite for many. So probably one of the all-time classic sets. It's in a lot of people's top. If you make a top 5, top 10, usually people, unless they just hate space, this set's going to be up there. So classic. Police station. Now we get to the 80s where the minifigures really started getting going. All right, the 80s. This is the section of the book that I feel they really missed something in here. It's my personal opinion though. So everybody has a right to have their own view about what's great. But I'm going to go through the 80s. And you tell me what's missing. All right, there's Post Office, awesome set. That I do not know how this set got in here. But Lego basic sets were still going strong. No, I do not think a Lego basic set should have made it in this. I don't know. I mean, it's part of Lego history. Yes, I understand that, but I just wouldn't put it up there with great Lego sets. Holiday home. Definitely. Hamburger stand, most definitely. This again is where you got small sets that qualify as great sets, not just bigger sets. This is just a classic set to me. And then here's the Galaxy Commander, another classic space set. I think we do have that one. And then this was my favorite theme as a teenager. when I was a teenager, the sets that I wanted the most were the classic castle sets. And I did manage to finally get a few later. And eventually, after college, I got almost all of them. There was only about 6 total sets that I was missing to have a complete castle collection. And most of those were things like I didn't have the yellow castle. Well, you know what's ironic is that now I have some of those sets I didn't have then, but I sold all the others, so it's kind of weird. It's like I went from having all but 6 sets to having those 6 sets and not anything else, because I sold everything. All right, and then, okay, this is some space. Oh, Lunar Lander, another good one. So we'll have 3 different versions at least of the Lunar Lander now. We have this one, the one we showed you from the 70s, and the one that's coming out now. All right, there's Airport. They've been doing Airport theme for a while. Guarded In, that was, I remember the popularity of this set. It's kind of weird because Classic Castle already did so well, but when this Guarded In came out, this is the one that everybody wanted. In fact, when eBay came along, or when I started seeing this on eBay, this is the one that would just fetch really, 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 really high prices. But they re-released it, and then that kind of drove the price down a bit, and even today it's not nearly as bad. All right, this is my set. Thank you. This is why DK Books, for me submitting the pictures, they sent me a free copy of this book. I'd already bought the book too, but so these are my images. I wish, well, this was the time period when I was in a remodel at my house. I did not have a place to film. I was able to rush something together to take the picture, and then they were able to edit them to make them a little more clean. But this is my future on monorail. That really made my day when they asked me to submit the pictures for this, because they had seen the video I done, and the video was the images aren't nearly as good as this. So when I was filming this and getting the shots, I uploaded a video for Trains Are Fun. And the Trains Are Fun has the white background, and you can kind of tell the difference in quality, how they edited it, looking at my Trains Are Fun video compared to what the images look like here. I did film it with a white background. They wanted no other things in the picture, only things that went with the set, and so that's what I did with this. I washed it, I peroxided, I cleaned it, I got all the dust off of it, made sure the elements were the best and the original elements to the set, and then they had specific things they wanted me to take pictures of, and that's what I did. So monorail transport system, definitely monorail has to be on the list of all-time great sets. Black Monarchs Castle. Oh, this is another story. Be real short, but I remember being at Lionel Play World, and a guy was returning this set. I was like, he's returning it. I wanted to get it, but see, again, that was the time when I was in college, and a lot of things were out of my price range. I could not afford this set, and I was like, man, that guy's returning it. I want to get it. So more castle things going on there. Another set I've never owned here, Message Intercept Base. I should really try to get the Blacktron. They're so expensive now. Fabuland Amusement Park, love it, love it. I love Fabuland. All right, here is probably one of the all-time classic pirate ships, the Black Seas Barracuda. And that's it for the 80s. So what was missing? What was missing going through the 80s? I wanted to show you all of the 80s because if I was doing the book, the one thing I would have had in the book would have been the 12-volt train line. Just give me one train from the 12-volt train line. The 12-volt train line is probably the best trains theme because it had remote control, it had automation with that remote control, it had sound. Did it have sound? There was so much you could do with the 12-volt train system, and the trains were awesome. So I would have had either the Intercity Train or the high-speed train, in there with this list. You got to have a 12-volt train, but they didn't. So then the 90s, another good set, the mine there. M-Tron, of course you got to have monorail, the airport shuttle, the yellow metro station. Why did I sell it? Breezeway Cafe, another set they re-released. I'm hoping they'll do this again, where they re-release some old sets like they did with the Breezeway Cafe. And here's another cool one, the Black Knight's Castle, the Air Tech Claw Rig. Don't know what all. Oh, this is the lady that does the Duplo stuff. Paradisa. Oh, love Paradisa. And this is another set. I did used to own this set, and I sold it on eBay, but Imperial Trading Post. Big, classic set. Pizzeria, definitely classic. Not so sure about this Belleville set. It does have some disturbing images on the box. I got a box somewhere. I need to, if I ever review this set, I might do that, but it's kind of disturbing. And then Aquazone, I was never big into Aquazone. I'm never big into the Western theme either, but those are actually pretty good themes. But then we get Mindstorms. So that was pretty awesome. And then talks about Star Wars. It was introduced in 1999. Oh, the Dino 2000. So let me see if I can find that one. So we're going to go through this. So we're getting into the modern era. A lot of things that I have in here. Let's see. I want to show you something. Main Street. That's actually an 80s set they re-released in 2003. The Vikings. All right. Vikings is kind of the underrated, little known, in my opinion, but they had some pretty cool things like these dragons. I don't know if the dragons really fit with Vikings, but let me go to what I was looking for here. Oh, we get the modulars, Greengrocer, Ultimate Collectors. Oh, okay, here's trains. Oh, they do have train. All right, so they do show a 12-volt train image here. So they got one 1980s train, but I think it should have been included in the 80s section. And that was the one I was talking about, the Intercity Train. So that was a good choice there, but it really should have been in the 80s section. Here's a fan design train. That was pretty good because, you know, what was interesting to me about this one is it was designed by people that I remember having interaction with before we got into eBay and BrickLink and all that. Ultimate Collectors, Millennium Falcons, just awesome. And ships, agents, Indiana Jones, classic. We got this set sitting over there. I was going through some sets and I found it, and this is one of our favorite Indiana Jones sets. Death Star that was in production for 1,000,000 years. Town Plan, got that set, reviewed it. Dinos and stuff. Oh, where is that Dino set? Did I pass it? I must have passed it. There it is. Monster Dino. Classic. It's got a sound brick in it, so it makes the dinosaur sound. It actually walks. We've used it in 2 or 3 videos, and it's I like that set. So, yep. So when you get into the modern stuff, I mean, this is stuff that a lot of you can still get. Some of this stuff might still be in stores. Oh, why did I sell it? Well, a big mistake selling that. So, Grand Carousel. So this is a very good book. Just let you get the book so you can see what other great sets they have in there. But let's see. Oh yeah, this is where it acknowledges the people that helped with the creation. I think I mentioned in here, yeah, Joseph Olson at BrickTsar.com. So anyway, that is the book Great Lego Sets. I highly recommend it. If you're someone like me who loves great Lego sets and you'd like to get them but you can't afford them, you can get this book and take a look at them and maybe help you decide if, you know, which one. If I was going to spend $400 or $500 on a set, you know, what set would I want to get? You know, and there's some in here that they're worth it now. Alright, so that is my review of a really, really great book. Not using hyperbole. Great Lego Sets, A Visual History. highly recommend it from DK Books. You can still pick this thing up on Amazon, I think, as I'm filming this. But awesome book, awesome build. So what are your favorite Lego sets? And like I said, I didn't cover everything that is in the book, so I might have missed some in here that were your favorites. But I wanted to cover those particular eras that were special to me. And they did hit most of my favorite sets. Again, I would have had more in there than a few small images of the 1980s Lego trains, but at least they got the one that I saw in there. But to me, that would have been high on my list, 1980s 12-volt trains. But you can't go wrong with the ones that they picked. They picked a lot of really, really good sets. So again, I highly recommend this book. Pick it up on Amazon or your bookstore of choice. And we will see you in the next video. As always, please subscribe to BrickTsar. Help us to grow our channel so that we can continue providing you awesome Lego content. Like I said before, I got a lot of the sets that are in this book, some we've not ever reviewed. I will have in the description below links to videos that we have done related to sets that are in this book. So check those out, and maybe we'll redo some of those videos, because when I started YouTube, like a lot of you guys, didn't know what I was doing. Trying to get better and help provide you good, interesting content so you can learn more about Lego history, how to buy Lego today, and how to just continue to have fun with this awesome toy. See you in the next one.
Answer it, Joseph Olson. Someone's calling, Joseph Olson. Don't answer it, Joseph Olson.